Hey everyone, here is my ayahuasca story. I've said it a number of times and I really just wanted to record it so more people can hear it and maybe they can relate or take something away from it. I think all of these experiences that people have should be shared and learned from, really. I guess I'm going to start by saying that I always said I would never go searching for it, and if it ever came to me, I would do it. And it came. My only experience with psychedelics or any other mind-altering kind of medicine, I would say, was with weed. I smoked a bunch of weed in university, and now here I was doing ayahuasca. Mind you, I was so curious about mushrooms, MDMA, all of it. And every time I met somebody that had partaken in any of those kind of drugs or medicine, I would ask 1,000,001 questions, and it was so fascinating because literally everyone's experience is different, yet there was this common thread that would follow all of these stories. So I got a chance to finally experience it myself. A wicked opportunity came up through work, and we got a chance to go to Rythmia Life Advancement Center, and we were going to be doing some marketing and stuff. And after checking the website and going through the whole thing, I saw that they do plant medicine ceremonies there in a medically licensed kind of controlled environment. I thought that was pretty amazing, and I guess when I read that, I was like, holy shit, like, it's come. Here's my chance. And about 2 years prior to actually doing it in December, I was going through a really rough time, like quick to anger, depressed, sad, just like feeling dejected, rejected, just down and out. And I've always been a seeker of truth, you know. Since I was 20, I would say, I've dabbled, I guess, in healing modalities and different types of therapies or healing to just explore more. So everything from like landmark to sessions with many different practitioners, a 10-day Vipassana sit, meditating every day, journaling, sweat lodges, like so many things, NLP, books, going to seminars, like everything. I realize like I'm my own greatest subject. Like I do stories and like I like to explore different things, writing articles and stuff, but I will always be my own greatest subject because I want to know the mystery, you know, and I want to find out deeply what is this all about. So never did mushrooms, any of that. And I think it's just fucking hilarious that I went from smoking weed straight to ayahuasca. But like I said, in between, lots and lots of different like healing modalities. So that was really interesting. And so in August, I got yoga certified, and that kind of opened me up because I was in Ecuador, and being in South America was beautiful. In the Andes, I got to like really connect with a different type of energy that I'd never kind of felt before there. And so going to Costa Rica, there was excitement, but so many nerves. And so I get there, and prior to doing ayahuasca, I definitely followed the diet, and I was pretty serious about it, I guess. But only until like 2.5, 3 weeks before I was actually gonna go, because up until then, I was like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna do it, maybe, kind of thing. And push came to shove, and I was like, holy shit, no, like I'm doing this, and it is no joke, in my opinion. Like if you're gonna partake in ayahuasca, like that is some serious shit, you know, like from the stories that I've heard, it's not glamorous at all. Like you're throwing up, some people had diarrhea, like all of this stuff, like it's intense. So I figured like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna be doing something really serious for myself, and my spiritual journey has been so important in my life. And anyone that knows me quite well will tell you that I always come back to it. And it's been my saving grace in so many moments in my life's journey. And I felt like doing ayahuasca in that moment in time was like this next kind of like evolution in my spiritual journey. So I take this very seriously, and I did a bunch of research, and I looked into the diet and stuff. The diet's pretty much a vegan diet, except, you know, they remove some of the oils and stuff like that. If you're gonna partake in it, I would highly recommend, you know, following the diet and coming with a level of respect to the plant was very important as well, because you're creating that kind of bond, I guess, with the energy and the plant. From my reading and understanding, the plant is a divinely intelligent being that you can interact with, and it knows exactly what you need to heal. So knowing that I was going to do something very important for myself, I wanted to come with a level of seriousness. So I undertook the diet, and honestly, the moment that I really took it to my heart and said, okay, I'm doing this, I feel like the medicine already started working in its own way. So we get there, and in my head, I always said Wednesday was my day, and at Rythmia, there are ceremonies every single night, and you can partake. And I went with my whole team with work, and it was so awesome to have my whole team there. And so we're all talking to each other like, oh, are you gonna do it? Are you gonna do it? And the majority of the team opted out of doing the ceremonies, but I always knew I was gonna do it. And so we got there on Saturday night, and like I said, Wednesday was just always my day. In my head, it was just like, yes, I'm gonna do it on Wednesday. And so Sunday, Monday, everyone's like, oh, you're gonna do it tonight? You're gonna do it tonight? And I was like, yeah. And then I went to a Q&A session the day before, and I wanted to meet the shaman and stuff because I felt like that's important. You know, I felt like there should be a rapport of some sort with the person facilitating this whole thing. And then I just didn't feel it. I just really wasn't into it. And so I waited until Wednesday, and Wednesday rolls around, and I was excited, but super nervous, like incredibly nervous, because you wonder, you're like, am I gonna come out me? Am I still gonna be me on the other side of it? Like something's actually happening to my brain, and it's nerve-wracking, right? So a whole day goes by, and now it's like 1, and you're supposed to stop eating around 1 p.m. And yeah, so I stopped, and before the ceremony, I wrote a letter to Mama Ayahuasca, and I got really clear on my intentions. And you know, I mentioned like I'm really excited about this whole thing and meeting, and you know, asking for guidance and healing in any way. And I stated my intention, which was to receive healing and to show me everything that I cannot see about myself. And I said, cool, here we go. And so I got to the ceremony really early. It's supposed to start at 8 o'clock. I got there around 7:20, 7:30, because I wanted to pick my bed. I wanted to make sure I felt really comfortable with the spot that I got. And I did. I still feel like I got the wickedest spot, and it's in like this beautiful shala type setting. And I got the bed closest to the door, right by the window. So like I could just turn over and I could like see the stars and stuff. So that was really cool. And so I put my stuff down on my mattress with the bucket and stuff, and when I saw everything, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, oh my God, this is really happening. So I went to go see my friends for a bit. I said bye, like see you on the other side kind of thing. I have no idea what to expect, but I was really open to anything. So now it's 8 o'clock, and I get there, and now all the beds are filled up. And I sit down, and they offered a round of rape, and I believe it's ash and some other stuff, tobacco, and you snort it through your nose, like they blow through a pipe. And I was like, cool, thank you, I'm okay. I felt like because I was doing ayahuasca, I'm good with that right now. And so they did that. And with this ceremony, Tara, beautiful female shaman, was leading the ceremony. And that in itself was really interesting. Having a female lead this was really cool. And so she calls for the first drink. Now it's all quiet. The lights have been turned off. There's ceiling fans. There's 3 candles in the middle on a little altar. And she calls for the first drink. There's 2 drinks actually in this ceremony. One is, I believe, the leaf, and then the vine is the activator. So first round goes around, and I'm noticing everyone, and people are already throwing up and feeling really sick. And I was like, oh wow, like, is this normal? Like, so I'm just like sitting there, and so I go up, it's my turn, take it, tastes pretty bad, but I was like, okay, cool, no problem. I go to sit back down, and my eyes are open. I'm too curious to see what's happening at this point. So finally the last person goes, and now she calls for the second round for the other activating drink. Okay, so I go up. I'm not feeling anything at this point. And so I go up and I take the second drink, and again, tastes really bad. As she's pouring it, she blows tobacco into it and she gives it to you. And then, you know, I said my own little like intention prayer kind of thing, downed it. Okay, go back to my bed and I lay down. And then I just kind of like sit up for a while because I had like no idea what to expect or do. She had 2 awesome helpers with her. God bless them. They were amazing. And so I'm just sitting there. I'm kind of looking around. And like I said, people were already starting to get really sick and stuff. So I was just curious. I was like, and then now it's like maybe 30, 40 minutes in, I'm not feeling anything. And I'm like looking around like, oh, what's the shaman doing? Oh, look, that person's throwing up, eh? Like, wow, oh, that person's like walking around and going to the bathroom a lot. So I was just like looking around and taking it all in. And then all of a sudden I heard a voice, and clear as day, and it said, close your eyes, Raji, it's time. And I was like, oh my God, okay, time to go in. So I laid down and I put my eye mask on, and I was gone, like gone. See you later. I saw the most amazing fractals and sacred geometry and just journeying. And then the music, oh my God, the music was amazing. As the music changed, so did the visions and stuff. It was just incredible. And so I was there. I had no idea what was happening outside anymore. And it felt like the music was like right here. But in reality, I realized after, like, it was so far. It was like coming from a laptop, like all the way down there. But it sounded so loud in my head. It was really incredible. And then I started to feel really sick. And I was like, oh my God, I really thought I was one of those like maybe lucky ones that wasn't gonna throw up, I guess. But I started feeling really, really sick. And they teach you how to purge. And they say, you know, get on all fours right over the bucket and just like go for it. So I did, and because I was like so sick. And there was a moment where I'm like, do I have to go to the bathroom? And I didn't. So I was like, okay, I have to throw up. And I went on all fours, got over the bucket, and just so much stuff came out, like so much. And it felt like blackness just like coming out. And it felt like literally years and years and years of like negativity, jealousy, anger, depression, resentment, all of it, just like all of it came out. It felt like it was like being squeezed out of every single vein in my body, and it was just like all of it out. And I stopped and I knelt back down, and I was like, I'm not done. Got back, more and more coming out, and then I was done. And it felt so good. I felt so clear inside, and I could literally feel all of that shit, conditioning, all of it, just like years and years of it, just out. And I felt so much better, and I laid back down, and again I put my eye mask on because I was just like, wow, I feel really good. And then all of a sudden the music changed again, and like these deep shamanic drums came in, and I was like, whoa, it sounded like something epic was about to happen. And I was like, wow, something's gonna happen right now, like, woo, like, and like you've taken a step back, you're like zoomed out perspective right now. And all of a sudden, bam, I saw this vision. There I was sitting, Buddha, lotus, hair in a ponytail, wearing all white, sitting in front of a beautiful fire, and there was like this orange, red glow. I was in a cave, and in front of me was this massive, white, beautiful snake just sitting in front of me. And she showed me, she's like, this is your life. And I saw it, and it was fucking amazing. It was glorious. And I was like, yes, 100 times, yes, I want that. And she's like, if you choose not to change right now, this is what it's going to feel like. I didn't see, but I could feel it, and it felt shitty. It felt terrible. And I said, no, I want that. 100 times I want that. And then all of a sudden the music changed again, and my hands went to my chest, and I started breathing really, really deep. And I was like, no, 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 I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I felt so scary, like I was gonna die. And I was like, no, 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 no. And I'm literally saying this out loud. My eyes were closed, and I was like, no, I don't want to die. And then in a moment I was like, oh my God, this is like an ego death, because I knew I wasn't really gonna die, but a part of me was like suffocating like death. And it was like, and the drums were getting deeper and deeper, and it was like becoming so intense. And I was breathing, and then all of a sudden there was that voice came again, and it said, transform. And I took this last breath, and it was like, done. And there I was again, back at that vision, me still sitting, lotus, eyes closed, Buddha, and eyes open now, and I can see this vision, and the snake was consuming this black mass that had a tail. And as the black mass moved through the snake's body, I could see that it was transmuting into its tail. And it was becoming part of this beautiful white snake. And there was a huge celebration after, and then the music changed again. And it was like this crazy awesome celebration, and there was like 8 pythons and me dancing, and like something epic completely happened, and it was just amazing. And I felt really, really, really good. And after that, I sat up now, because I was like feeling really good and stuff, and I wanted to see like, okay, what's everyone up to now? And I sat up, and she had called for a second round. And I don't, like, was the medicine wearing off? I couldn't tell you. Maybe it was. So I'm just sitting there kind of looking around. I have a small smile on my face now. And one of the helpers comes and sits down in front of me. And she's like, how are you doing? And I'm like, I'm good, you know? And she's like, are you going to go for a second round? And I said, you know, I don't know. Maybe I purged, and like it was really good, but I don't know, like maybe. I'm like, what do you think? And she looked at me straight in my eyes, and she's like, why are you here? And we literally stared at each other for like 2 minutes. And then I was like, okay, yes, I get it. I'm gonna go. And I figured, like, you know what? I'm here. I'm gonna go in deep. Like, go in. You're here. You might as well, like, go for it. And even the slightest questioning, should I? Yes, go. So I did. And I took that second drink. I was wobbly walking to the shaman, and I was like, oh. And I recognized, like, oh, I didn't want anyone to think like I was like, you know, high or drunk or whatever it was. I had no idea what to call it. So I was like trying to like stay up straight, but I was really wobbly, and I was like, why is this happening? So I sat down in front of the shaman, and she's like, how are you doing? And I said, good. And then she like looked at me in my eyes, and she like poured another drink, and then, you know, I did a little blessing on it, downed it. Okay, I go back, and again, music changing, and so much is happening. And this second round was pretty epic, because I felt the love of mom, like I've never ever felt before. And it was kind of devastating and sad, because it's like, have I never felt this before? And I started bawling. I cried so hard, and it was just like tears, more tears, that I had never felt this quite like this before. And realizing, like, have I ever felt this love like this from mom? And I actually remember saying out loud, where's my mommy? And it made me kind of like reflect on like how many times in my childhood did I ever say that, and like all these feelings. And then all of a sudden, but I felt that love now, and it was amazing. And I saw myself being picked up like a little baby, and like, oh, you're so cute, and oh, I love you, and you're so amazing and stuff. And that alone was just so epic, to feel this love that I never felt before, and being taken care of in such a deep way was so magical. It was just amazing. And again, the tears were just a deep form of release, actually. And so then I remember so much happened, and I'm giving highlights right now. And then I got really obsessed with the idea of computers. What's a computer? What is computing? Who made computers? And going down from there, the program recognized itself. The program called consciousness. Okay, basically we made computers in the form or likelihood of how our brain is. I realize we are the ultimate technology. Our minds, our brains are the ultimate technology, and it's amazing. And this program was understanding that, and then all of a sudden the program's like, wait a minute, am I a computer? And then it's like self-awareness. Okay, where does self-awareness come from? Because the program is aware of itself. How? So where does self-awareness come from? Because that is the spark, that is the key. So I asked, where does self-awareness come from? Self-awareness shows up, and it was a male energy, and he just kind of like shows up, and he's like, you rang, kind of thing. And I was like, oh, where does self-awareness come from? And it said, you're asking the wrong question. Okay. I was like, all right, I'll be back. And so I went off, and I just sat with that and explored that idea of asking the wrong question, and trying to understand that alone. But even noticing, like, our minds are the ultimate technology, and how we compute, it was just really amazing to recognize all of that. And so then after that kind of recognition or realization, everything kind of became digital in a way. And then something was happening, and I said something to myself, and it was like, why are you thinking that? Like, And then it was like, freeze, everything froze, and like a computer, there was a box that formed, and the cursor moved over, and it went click, 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 and every time I clicked, it went deeper and deeper and deeper. So it went like last 5 years, university, high school, elementary school, and then bam, there I was in this scene in my parents' basement at our old house, or in the house they live in now. And there I was, maybe I was like grade 3 or 4, and I was at the kitchen table, and I was doing a math problem, and I wasn't understanding it, and I kept getting it wrong. And I got slapped because I got it wrong. And it was like this, like, why did you understand? This like scolding, this like critical kind of talk. And I saw myself, and I realized it took that in, and it's like, you're small, right? So you're just learning the world. And it's like, I guess that's how I'm supposed to talk to myself. Okay, so I just took on that kind of talk internally. I internalized that. So that critical, judgmental, mean kind of voice, that's where it came from. And I saw that. Do you know, that is all fucking changed now. I am so loving, compassionate, gentle with myself now, and then that translates to other people, because there's no way I could have seen that. No matter how much my sister, my bro, my parents, my exes, like, it doesn't matter who could tell me, Raj, you're really quick to anger, or hey, you take things a little too personally, or you're kind of mean sometimes. No, there's no way I'm going to hear that or believe that, because I don't see that. I saw it now, and I understood where it came from, and I just internalized this voice that wasn't mine per se. That was amazing, and that was just so profound, and such a shift to change that alone. We all struggle with self-love sometimes, you know what I mean? And just beautiful to have that realization, And then that was really cool. Like I said, everything became really digital. She called for a third round. And, people are throwing up, and like, there's lots of things happening. And I guess I was like in this, I don't know. I was like, this is so awesome. This is so cool. How far can I take this? I felt like I was in a story, and like, I wanted my ending, there was a beginning, a middle, and where's the end? So I went up to the shaman, and she didn't understand what I said. And so I sat down, she's like, how are you feeling? I was like, I want my ending. And she's like, what? And I said, I want my ending. I was like, this is a story. We had the beginning, there's a middle, and now I want my ending. And she laughed, and she's like, okay. And I saw what she poured, and it was a lot. And I was like, oh, fuck. And 1 second, I was like, maybe I shouldn't. But I did. And so I took it, and I went to go sit back down, and it had to be like 2 o'clock in the morning now. And so nothing kind of happened. Small visions here and there, but I have to say, like, that last drink kicked my fucking ass. I was so drunk by the end. Ceremony ended. I couldn't walk back to my my apartment by myself. They helped me there. I just wanted my bed, and I was throwing up on the way back to my room. Like, I was really messed up. And like, this is the medicine though, like, it gives you exactly what you need. And I saw, like, maybe I take things too far sometimes, or I need to understand boundaries and limits, So I learned from it, and I got into my space. The helper was like, let me stay with you and like make sure. No, I was like, no, please, like, I'm okay. It's just, I need just my bed, and like, I just want to be alone. I threw myself in the shower, and like, just the water hitting me felt amazing. And I just climbed into my bed, and I was just out, and it was amazing. And so that was the first experience with ayahuasca. That first ceremony was just epicness all around. I felt amazing in the morning. I wasn't tired or anything like that. And I felt really, really good. And I so good that I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do this again, because Taida was coming on the Friday, and now it's obviously the Thursday. And when I realized that he was coming, he was only doing ceremonies on the Friday and Saturday, and we were leaving on the Saturday. So I was like, shit. One of the rules at Rythmia is you can't leave the next day after doing a ceremony. But if I'm gonna do ayahuasca, I thought, why not do it like with a Colombian shaman kind of thing, right? But Wednesday was always in my head, and I'm so happy that I did it, because I gained so much from that ceremony. So on the fence about on the Friday, they were going to make an exception for me, which was just so awesome. But did I want to do it? I wasn't really sure. Did I need to? I got so much out of the Wednesday. So